Hello, I'm Barbara Outlaw, and I'm here today to discuss some formative strategies that one can use to support students learning business and math. Starting with this objective, we'll support students' understanding of how functions behave. By choosing assignments that complement the standard, we can emphasize interpreting key graph features such as increasing and decreasing intervals and relate these concepts to real world scenarios. The goal is to use the depth of knowledge questions as tools for accessing and enhancing student understanding. By working backwards, we can help build student understanding to level 4. First, starting with DOK level 1, students need to understand and solve formulas for calculating the average rate of change. Next, we would move on to DOK level 2, where students learn to calculate the average rate of change from the table of values. This provides opportunities to identify areas of confusion and prompts discussion about different calculation methods. Then we can lead students into DOK level 3, where they will analyze graphs to determine increasing and decreasing intervals, testing higher order of thinking, and encouraging dialogue about function behavior. Finally, on the last level, DOK level 4, we will challenge them to design a business that collects and analyzes data on sales promoting the synthesis of knowledge and real world application. The first assignment idea would have students applying the learning objective by creating and presenting a business idea, which involves understanding the key components of a business plan. Students will brainstorm a product or service that they are passionate about and then develop a business plan that includes a unique business name, description of the business, identification of the target market, SWOT analysis, and marketing strategy. They will also create a budget overview detailing an estimated startup costs and revenue plans, providing them with a mock data to work with. Students will prepare a 3 to 5 minute pitch, including graphs for sales data on a line graph, which will have labeled axes and titles. These graphs will be used to analyze their data and identify trends. So they will be conducting a trends analysis, such as increasing or decreasing sales, and then consider factors influencing these change, which will be their promotions. Students will reflect on what the average rate of change reveals about their business, enhancing their data interpretation skills as utilizing visual aids for their presentation will be necessary. They will be encouraged to present their ideas in a digital format example. That would be in like an online video, um, that could be through Zoom or any other format. When presenting to the class, the students will then be prepared to respond to questions and to foster that engagement. After the presentation, students will have the opportunity to write a reflection on their learning experience. This project will allow students to demonstrate their analytical, creative, and critical thinking and communication skills while connecting the mathematical concepts from real world business applications. Ultimately, this project will serve as the groundwork for students to analyze sales data for their chosen real or fictional business over the course of a month, where they can create the weekly sales table and calculate the average rate of change in sales between specified weeks using the appropriate formulas. Assignment 2 will have students exploring the average rate of change by creating the sales data table from a chosen business in Excel. Then they will calculate the average rate of change across different intervals and graph the data, labeling the axes and titles. Afterward, they will analyze this graph to identify key features such as increasing and decreasing intervals that are relative to the extrema. Finally, students will write a summary discussing their findings, trends, factors reflecting sales. This assignment reinforces their understanding of function behavior and enhances their skills of data analysis and graphical interpretation, aligning with those objectives within the business framework. It would be very beneficial for students to analyze their business pitch data while calculating the average rate of change, graphing sales data, identifying trends, summarizing their findings, and concise reports. This assignment would reinforce students' ability to analyze function behavior, interpret graphical data, and understand how changes in one's variable might affect another, aligning with most business objectives. In this assignment, students will apply their learning objectives from business math by analyzing their effectiveness of their marketing campaign as well for the chosen business. They will create a table displaying customer engagement metrics, such as websites to visit, social media interactions over the course of 4 weeks. Using the data, students will calculate the average rate of change for each metric between specified weeks, reinforcing their understanding of how the function's output changes in relation to its input. Next, students will graph the data using a line graph, clearly labeling the axis and differentiating between the two metrics. This visual representation will help them identify trends such as which week experienced the highest increase in engagement and other factors that may have influenced these changes. Finally, students will have to write a brief report summarizing their findings, including a calculated average rates of change and insights into how the data can inform future marketing strategies. This assignment not only enhances students' data interpretation skills, but it also deepens their understanding of function behavior and graphical analysis, aligning with that complementary to those learning objectives. This assignment can be conducted digitally using various online tools and platforms. Students can create their customer engagement tables using spreadsheets like Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, allowing for easy data entry and calculations of average rate of change and using other formulas like VLOOKUP. These tools also enable students to generate graphs automatically. They can enhance their visual representation of data. For collaboration and discussion, students can utilize the platforms like Blackboard, Google Classroom, for them to have their discussion boards on to share their findings and insights with peers. They can post their graphs, their reports, or feedback, fostering a collaborative learning environment. Additionally, students can then write their reports using their Google Docs or Word, which would allow for easy editing and sharing. These digital formats not only streamline the process of assignments, but it also prepares students for real world business practices, where their data analysis and digital communication are essential skills. Overall, this assignment will leverage technology to enhance their learning and engagement. My goal will be to leverage the outcomes from their business sales analysis and marketing campaign analysis and entrepreneurship business pitch assignments to refine to refine basically my teaching strategies effectively. I would be assessing student performance where I could identify areas of struggle, any misunderstandings, and adjust instruction accordingly. For instance, if many students struggle with calculating average rate of change in the sales analysis, I can revisit foundational mathematical concepts or provide additional practice tailored to the specific areas in the next week. These assignments should encourage students to reflect on their thinking processes and their learning. After each assignment, students will be engaging in reflective writing, so an essay, considering what strategies worked, the challenges they faced, and how they approached in their problem solving. That will be crucial for their future careers. This self assessment will foster cognition, enabling students to become more aware of their learning styles and their preferences, which can enhance their future performance. The business pitch particularly supports the ISTE standard for students by promoting creativity and collaboration. Students are required to think innovatively when developing their business ideas and collaborate with peers during presentation processes. So this could look like group projects as well. Utilizing digital tools for these presentations will be crucial as slides or multimedia inspire students to express their ideas creatively while developing critical digital literacy skills. Moreover, the non traditional format of these assignments provides such a diverse avenue for students to be able to express their knowledge. Unlike regular tests or projects, this would allow for creativity in their presentation styles, whether it's through visual aids or storytelling or interactive elements. This flexibility will not only cater to the different learning styles in the classroom, but also empower students to take ownership of their learning while making sure that they're engaged and relevant to their project. Overall, the assignment encourages a dynamic and inclusive learning environment that values both those analytical skills and that creative expression. Thank you for listening. I was using the International Society of Technology and Education and the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce business standards for mathematics.